Hey guys, I'm going to do a video real quick. This one for UFC 291. It's going to be a stacked card. I'm really excited for it. I hope y'all are too, so let's dive right on into it. Starting off with Michael Chiesa against Kevin Holland, this is going to be an exciting one. Kevin Holland can normally be pretty unpredictable in his fights, but we've seen that he's pretty well-rounded in just about everything, so he should be able to at least bring a challenge to Michael Chiesa, while Michael Chiesa does really stand out whenever it goes to the grappling. Now, Kevin Holland, I think, is going to have the stand-up advantage in this fight. He's got a 5.5-inch reach advantage, and he's quite a bit taller than Chiesa is. So I think that's where Chiesa is going to struggle, and I think Kevin Holland is good enough to match Chiesa in the grappling and at least fend off the submissions and the control that Chiesa is going to bring to the grappling, at least enough to be able to get up and manage to get a lead in the fight through the stand-up advantage. So for this fight, I'm going to take Kevin Holland. Now for the next fight, we've got a battle between two veterans in the UFC, Bobby Green up against Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson obviously riding a 5-fight losing streak against some of the best in the lightweight division though, and Bobby Green coming off of a no contest in a fight that he felt he won, and before that losing 2 fights. But both have been in the UFC for such a long time, they're for sure veterans. Now Bobby Green is a tough boxer. He's proven he's pretty well-rounded, but he definitely prefers to be on the feet and bang with you. While Tony Ferguson in the past proved that, he doesn't quit, he doesn't give up. I mean, we saw Charles Oliveira almost break his arm. That was horrifying. We had to see him get put to sleep a few times, but I think there's a lot of people rooting for Tony in this fight, including myself. I really want to see Tony get back to winning ways, regardless of who it's against, but it seems like Tony's on the last legs of his career, and I feel like my gut's telling me to take Bobby Green in this fight. So for this one, I've got Bobby Green, but I will eat my words gladly if Tony can come out on top. And up next is the co-main event, Jan Blachowicz against Alex Pereira. Jan coming off of a win, but Pereira coming off of a loss to Izzy. Both are really high-level competition for each other, especially for Alex to start off with in the light heavyweight division. This is really a test for him, because this is the guy who beat Izzy also. He was able to land takedowns and out-wrestle Izzy for most of that fight and ended up getting the win. And Izzy was able to get a takedown or two against Alex. And I know Alex is for sure looking to defend takedowns. I know that's what he's been doing in training camp. He's also been getting ready for the possibility of going to the ground. But I feel like Jan is going to have the advantage if this fight goes to the ground. But on the feet, Pereira is a real threat. And Pereira can put anybody on the roster to sleep, and that includes Jan. Although Jan does have a super tough chin, he's very hard to knock out or get a finish over. I think if Alex can keep the fight on his feet, he's going to have a much better chance of winning. But Jan, I think, is going to have that ability to take Pereira down and out-wrestle him just like he did Izzy. So for this fight, I'm going to take Jan Blachowicz. And for the main event, Dustin Poirier against Justin Gaethje for the BMF title. I'm so glad they brought this belt back. A lot of people have been saying that it doesn't mean anything, it has no real value as a title. But I think you can have a lot of fun with that title, so I'm fine with it being back. And if you had to make a BMF title fight between anybody in that lightweight division, Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier are the two perfect guys to fight each other for, because they're both perfectly fine with brawling. They're both perfectly fine in any point of the fight, whether it's on the feet, on the ground, it doesn't matter. They're fine with going there, and they're going to do absolutely everything they can to get the advantage there or somehow get a win there. Obviously, Justin Gaethje is the one who's evolved much more in the past 5 years since their last fight. The first fight, Justin was a lot sloppier, a lot more brawler mentality going into that fight, and that's ultimately what led to his downfall, was that, and also the fact that Dustin Poirier is very adaptable. We saw him adapt midway through the fight to the leg kicks that Justin Gaethje was going at him with, and he was able to capitalize on it. Because Justin was throwing those leg kicks out so much, he was able to figure out, well, if I hit him on the button right here when he throws this kick, it's going to work and it's going to leave him open to anything else I want to do. And Dustin Poirier was able to take advantage and get the finish that way. Both have a strong chin, both have shown tremendous heart. It's really a pick 'em in this fight. And the fans seem very 50-50 on who they think is going to win. But I feel like the advantage goes to Dustin Poirier. And I feel like just like in the last fight, if he does have trouble, which he probably will have a bit of trouble with Justin, I think he's going to be able to once again adapt mid-fight and end up turning the tides. So for this fight, I've got Dustin Poirier. And it looks like that's all I got for y'all. So hit like, subscribe, and all that.